Hey there, I am Laina Orlando, and today on September the 9th, 2021, I have been inspired, nudged, you could say just pushed from within to share a message with you. And although this message may sound a little bit harsh, a little dark, a little scary, it is really truly a message of hope, a message of peace, a message that is going to help those who have the ears to hear it, a certainty that is going to allow you to navigate through the stage that we are about to enter. I am a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles, and I want to read to you something from the Course in Miracles, and this is inside of the text. It's inside of the chapter 1 in the text. It's in section number 4, titled The Escape from Darkness. I want you to be aware that what humanity is undergoing right now is a real amplification of that which has been dualistic: dark, light, good, evil, God, ego. So we are entering into a very, very powerful time in the history of humanity. We have never done this before. This planet has never gone through this shift before, and it is called the Ascension. What this means is that we are ascending, we are lifting our vision, we're seeing more clearly. We're going up to, the 30-foot vision, the top of the mountain, to see what's been happening down in the valley below. And what has been happening in the valley is a lot of darkness. This 3D world has been operating by glorifying the human ego. That's the part of us that allows us to have a human experience. And if we operated from our ego, as all children do, we're all born with this egoic sense of self, which is a separate sense of self. But children don't hurt one another until they begin to learn how to do so. So when the ego begins to get indoctrinated in beliefs of superiorness and inferior, better and worse, good and bad, in terms of these people are good, I deem them good because they are this religion, I deem them bad because they're this religion. When we begin to see each other as different and that becomes a bad thing, we empower our sense of separation, we empower our egoic sense of self, excuse me, that gives itself permission to judge itself or others. Judges itself through comparing, I'm not as good as that one, I'll never amount to much. Or it judges by saying, you're no good, you don't deserve it. For thousands of years, operating inside of that sense of separation, where we have been worshiping ourselves. Whether you think you're a victim or you act like a bully, you're worshiping you. When you do that, you have blocked God's love. You have blocked the essence of your divinity. You are not in alignment with the frequency of kindness, of gentleness, of love, of defenselessness, of joy, of trust. Our Constitution states that God created us equal to experience life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Course in Miracles says the same thing. Different words, pretty much the same thing. What has happened to humanity is that we don't value life. We're quick to go to war and kill somebody. We're quick to shoot somebody if we don't like them. We are quick to discard of whatever bothers us. We're quick to get rid of it. We also don't value freedom because we have been conditioned into giving up our freedom for the promise of safety. And those who go into power and we give them our power and say, yeah, you're in charge of me, they take that power. Not all, most do. Because when we operate from the ego, we get corrupted. That's what corruption is about, is a corrupted mind that no longer listens to the heart and then goes out to control people. So when we do that, and we're no longer honoring each other's liberty because we're moving into control, we think we have power over them and we get to tell them what to do, then what happens is they don't get to be happy. We can't be happy if we are not free. Freedom and happiness go hand in hand. And all of this is possible because we have been taught since forever that God's outside of us. And we have had teachers like Jesus 2,000 years ago telling us the kingdom of heaven is inside. And he was called blasphemous. You know, the Jewish people at that time that were in charge, they did not want to have their boat rocked by this man coming around, Jewish man telling the people there, wait a second, God created you to experience life, liberty, and happiness. Kingdom of heaven is inside of you. You will do greater works than I will do. I am the Father are one. He said these things that really upset the status quo. Well, Jesus was dropping seeds, planting ideas in our mind that when we move outside of the religious indoctrination that says, yeah, this Jesus said this, and it's true about him, but not about you. He's the Son of God, not you, even though he said, I'm the Son of Man. We have been raised to believe that we are somehow not powerful, not deserving of our liberty, needing others to take care of us because we have learned to abdicate our sovereignty. So when you give power to people and they think that they can control you, and then they start making money because they sell that power to the corporations, that's corruption of the heart, corruption of the mind. Then all of a sudden, money becomes their master. And as is told to us in the Old Testament, that this has been going around for thousands of years. This is nothing new. But we've had a hard time learning the lesson. You can only have one master. It's going to be God or money. Ego worships money because the ego doesn't know its own sense of worth. It doesn't know itself as God, an expression of God, the essence of God, extending itself onto the planet uniquely as you and as me. Because the ego blocks that, it thinks, oh, I'm God, I'm in charge, as opposed to I am made of the essence of God. It goes into this very greedy place. What can I get? Now, what can I get? I'm the God, I'm in charge. And when you give somebody who really thinks that they are superior, you give them a little bit of power, it won't take long before they will find the ways to corrupt the system further and further, to insert the rules, laws, regulations, whatever makes them more powerful, fills their pockets, gives them the ability to take care of their own people and not the rest. And our Constitution was written for we the people. And in the Constitution, we are at the point now where what is happening in our government, they're not upholding the Constitution, which is designed to protect our freedom, our equality. So we are at a point where humanity has to take a stand and say no more and abolish what is not working and create something that will honor what is true for all of us. But it's not just about the United States Constitution. It's not just about America. It is also about our planet, and our planet inside of the galaxy, and the galaxy inside of the universe. See, this little beautiful planet, this little blue ball of ours, was designed to be heaven on earth. It was truly designed to be the Garden of Eden. And for it to remain the Garden of Eden, or return, I should say, to be in the Garden of Eden, we've got to stop doing all of the things that are not okay. We've got to stop eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. To do that, we need to face what is evil. We need to face what is dark. And too many of us, especially in the spiritual community, are all about love and light, seeking the light, chasing the light, but denying the darkness that is here. And we have to face the darkness and say no to it. And we are on the verge of receiving massive assistance universe-wide for those who have the ears to hear the frequency, the resonance that says, you know what? We deserve better. We cannot continue to tolerate that which does not honor the sons and daughters of the Most High. Every one of us is created equal. We are holy beyond description. And those who have been doing the work, and when I say doing the work, connecting with God, aligning with the message of oneness, not only talking it, but walking it, acknowledging the truth of our power and being willing to do whatever it takes to reclaim our sovereignty. That means we have come inside. We no longer look at authority outside of us to tell us what to do. We have come inside and found the voice of God within. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is within. I and the Father, Mother, God are one, and so are you. And when we come inside, we take our power away from those corrupt people who think that they have power to control us. Now, if you want them to control you and tell you what to do, it's okay. You can play the game that way. We are coming to the point where the choice has to be made. Those who are going to choose God are going to do so because they no longer fear that what is outside, not only does it hold nothing of interest to us, but when it collapses, and collapse it is going to do, it will not scare us because we know it's all made up. It's made up by the power that we gave it. So as we come to the place of realizing that we're choosing one master, God or money, God or the ego, love or fear, freedom, complete sovereignty and freedom with faith over slavery, over safety that they cannot provide because it's always changing, and over control. But for you to have faith in God, you have got to face your fears and realize that what you are afraid of is only because you don't understand your eternal power. You do not understand that you are a sovereign, holy being. You are not just your body. You are not just your degrees, your money. You're not any of that. You have that, but it's not what you are. And if you haven't been aligning with the truth of who you are, what is going to be crumbling is going to feel very scary. And I am here to assure you that if you align with God, especially through the Course in Miracles, it is a very clear to understand, very practical teachings that helps you face how did you get yourself so disconnected from your own inner voice? How did you buy into giving your power to the external world? If you want to learn how to return within, the Course in Miracles will help you, because this is what it's saying in the Escape from Darkness. The escape from darkness involves two stages. The first is a recognition that darkness cannot hide. We are in that stage, facing everything that is ugly. We have got to see the double standards. We have got to see how what's good for this one somehow is not good for that one. This party wants this at the cost to that one. This party wants what they want at the cost to this one. Not honoring everybody's equality, everybody's deservability to freedom. And more importantly, not honoring the sanctity of everybody's lives. And right now, we are in a world where the medical world, the pharmaceutical world, that is very much about money. They don't care about health. Not really. Many people enter into that profession caring about health, but then they get caught up in a system that is about money. It's about promotions. It's about status. And we are seeing what has happened to what was supposed to be a world of taking care of people. It's turned into, as the ego always does, a selfish, greedy world taking care of themselves. And we are seeing the darkness of that. We're seeing the darkness of attempting to manipulate the minds of children in school. We're seeing that with the misinformation that is being given to children. We are seeing that in the news that is very biased, very skewed, in the big tech that censors anybody who says something contrary to the narrative that is being pushed by the political party that is corrupt. And by the way, both of them are part of that. We think we have two parties. We don't. There is really what appears to be two heads to the same monster, and they operate in tandem. So we have to look for the people who will lead in a way that is beyond what we have been conditioned to believe is the truth. Those people are emerging. They're out there. But we need to be conditioned in listening inside so that we can have the ears to hear what is evil, what is dark, and what is light, what is actually true. So let me read this again. 2 stages to escaping the darkness that we are in. First is we have to recognize it cannot hide. Welcome the darkness, especially if you're spiritual and you're into love and light. Face what is ugly. If you have judgments, if you have reactions to things, start looking at them. Why do you react? What bothers you about them? Because that reaction is blocking you from being part of the one who can turn your light on and shine it on that thing. Because here's part 2. So let me just read again. First, the recognition that darkness cannot hide. This step usually entails fear. Second, the recognition that there is nothing you want to hide, even if you could. Face it. Face that child abuse. Face it. Face the corruption. Face the lies. Face the double standards. Face the wanting to control people. Face the insanity of allowing homelessness, of allowing wars. Face the insanity of your tax dollars funding things that are absolutely abhorrent, that hurt humanity. Face the hunger. Face the abuse of taking people's properties. Face all that has been done that keeps people oppressed, financially enslaved. Face it. Because if we face it together and we look at it and say, no holy child deserves that, no brother or sister of ours who is divine, and all are divine, deserves this. If we band together and say no to what is evil, is dark, is of the ego, if we say no to it together, it has no power over us. Let me keep reading. The recognition that there is nothing that you want to hide, even if you could, brings the escape from fear. When you face it, it has 0 power over you. When you have become willing to hide nothing, you will not only be willing to enter into communion, but will also understand peace and joy. I offer classes for A Course in Miracles. On Wednesdays, I do them for free at noon Eastern Standard Time every single week. I do other gatherings. Those do have a nominal fee. You can join us for that. You can do it by Zoom or you can do it in person. We have got to come together and have one voice that speaks for all. Don't join this side or that side, this group or that group, by gender, by religion, by sexual orientation, by color, by whatever. Don't do that. Band together as holy children of the creative source of all that is. We are all made of the same thing. And those that are corrupt are holy like we are. And they need to be looked at and be told, you have no power over me. Which is really one of their greatest fears, is that we are powerful beyond measure. And when we band together and say no to the corruption, say no to the lying and the cheating, they will not be able to continue doing what they're doing, and they will have to go through their own process of transformation. But as long as we turn our back on it because we're too love and light, or too afraid of it, or needing it to protect us and denying what they're actually doing, if we don't stand up, they will take those down who are not aligned with God. And we are about to face a big test. You see, the Course in Miracles says that everything is a lesson God would have us learn. We're here in the classroom called Planet Earth to learn, to align with God and make God our only master. My will, not, thy will, not mine, be done. Or to create idols, to get another master, money, get everything from the outside, look for others to validate us, to protect us, give authority to something external. We come to this planet to learn the lessons. Are we coming within? Are we going outside? Are we coming to God? Are we going to where the ego's telling us we should be going? And we are upon the test, and not everybody is going to pass it. Now, that's not a bad thing, because we are powerful creators. Remember, there's nobody here that's not powerful. You either know it or you don't. You align with it or you don't. But you have it, even if you deny it. And right now, I am feeling that we are within days, if not weeks, definitely before this year is up for sure, we are going to be facing a big test. What side are you on? What side are you on? We have to draw the line. as Jesus did in the sand. Are you on the side of love or are you on the side of fear? Are you on the side of God or the side of the ego? Are you coming inside and claiming your sovereignty because it is how God created you? Since you're created in the image of a creator, you are a creator. Are you going to claim your sovereignty? But see, you can't claim it for you if you don't claim it for everybody else. That's where the ego tricks us into specialness and making it selfish and it's all about me. If you're running around scared to death that you're going to die of a virus, that you're going to be infected by other people, you don't know how powerful you are. You don't know the power that you have at your disposal because your fear blocks you from accessing that power. Step 1. Let me read it again. Recognize that the darkness cannot hide. Face that darkness. Face that fear. Where did that fear come from? Why are you afraid of death when you are eternal? Why are you afraid of catching something when you have access to all healing powers in the whole world? Why are you afraid? Because your fear makes you manageable. Your fear makes you controllable by those who do not want you to understand how powerful you are. Right now, the line has been drawn in the sand. Are you going to claim your power, your sovereignty? Then you need to claim that God is inside of you. You and the Father are one. If you don't do that, there's nothing wrong. But please prepare for some discomfort that is coming because the darkness is only going to intensify. And only those who can face it are not afraid of it. I love you dearly. I know you are magnificent. I know you have the power of the Creator in you. And I know no matter what happens in this incarnation, we are still eternal and we will always, always be connected. But we came to this planet to learn how to live as if this is heaven on earth. For that to happen, we can no longer tolerate abuse. We can no longer tolerate evil. We can no longer tolerate fear. And if you're not ready to face it, it's okay. You have incarnations coming up that will allow you to learn those lessons later. But today, right now, we are being given an opportunity for a planet-wide test. What side will you be on? Again, there's no good or bad. Do you want to learn your lessons going forward from love, or do you want to continue to learn them from fear? That is really the test. To learn them from love, you've got to love yourself enough to face your fears and release yourself from them, because when you escape from fear, you'll be willing to hide nothing. Transparency will be the norm. You will want everything to be out in the open. Why? Because you will have entered into communion with love, peace, and joy that is eternal, because you will have returned to doing the will of our Father, Mother, God, which is for us to know our equality and to experience life, liberty, and happiness as a collective, always and forever. Thank you. If you enjoyed this message, please like my YouTube channel, Laina Orlando, and there's all kinds of messages there to assist you. Or go to my website, lainaorlando.com. Thanks a lot, and I love you. Truly love you, because I have come to know that we are one. You can too, if you face your fears.